Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports. I am Muftau Navida Abdullahi. On Tuesday, President Akufo-Addo held a farewell dinner with the Black Stars ahead of the African Cup of Nations to be staged in Côte d'Ivoire. The Black Stars will open its campaign on Sunday, January 14, against Cape Verde, and they are flying out of Ghana later today. President Akufo-Addo and the Minister of Youth and Sports traveled to Kumasi, where the team is camping, to hold a farewell dinner with the team ahead of the event. And in some photographs, and then interestingly, Stonebwoy was also there to sing for the team so that they will be able to have the motivation required to end Ghana's about 42 years of waiting to win the African Cup of Nations. This tournament was last won by Ghana in 1982 when Abedi Pele was then 16. Since then, Ghana has not been able to compete and win the trophy. The country has made it to the final twice since 1992. 1992, the team was in the final. They lost to Côte d'Ivoire. In 2010, the team was in the final. They lost to Egypt. In 2015, again, the team was in the final and lost to Côte d'Ivoire once again. And this was the president delivering his speech during the farewell dinner, which happened in Kumasi on Tuesday night. Now let's move on and bring you other stuff that are happening surrounding the senior national team, the Black Stars, as we head to the African Cup of Nations 2023. Well, it was the president, the vice president, rather, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who was also in his native region, which is the Northeast region, to commission a sports complex named Nashiriga Sports Complex. My colleague Ilyasu Tanko was there and comes through with this report.
The initial postponement following confusion at home over the Boku chieftaincy dispute, the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia returned over the weekends to Nalerigu, the Northeast regional capital, to commission a new astroturf for sporting and recreational activities in the East Mamprusi municipality. According to Joy News sources, the initial arrangement to commission the facility on the 28th of December was abrogated after an arrangement could not be reached between the office of the Vice President and the executives of the Mamprugu Youth Association over the presence of the Nairis and Stall Bokunaba at the event grounds. Dr. Bawumia was accompanied by the Minister for Youth and Sports, the national chairman of the ruling party, and several other dignitaries of the party. It was the third of such facilities to be commissioned into operation in the region since the coming into power of the government. The facility comes with a standard football pitch that can be utilized for even national matches, flashlight for nighttime activities, 1,000 capacity spectator stands, changing rooms furnished with water and sanitation facilities, offices for managers of the facility, and a public washroom. The facility was constructed after the youth of Nalerigu mounted a strong protest against the Vice President and the regional minister after the construction of a second astroturf in Wale. Commissioning the project, the Vice President, after inspecting the auxiliary facilities, said the new infrastructure would help in the development of sports in the region.
I'm very happy with the work. The facilities are first class, and I just hope that we maintain them as such as we go forward. But I'm a happy man today, and I'm very impressed with the work that has been done. I think that it will be a facility that will help sports and particularly football in Nalerigu, Gambaga and its environment.
The facility has been named after Nashiriga, a late overlord of Mamprugu. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, also said the facility will facilitate the development of grassroots sports whilst playing out the achievement of this government in the development of sports nationwide.
Under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, when it comes to sports infrastructure, there's no any government since independence that can match his record in terms of sports infrastructure and sports development. So having done all these sports facilities, now the focus is now grassroots sports development. We are now going to have district level sports competitions. Then we move to the regional level, to the national level, so that we can develop talent at the grassroots.
The minister further announced his pledge to support the fast-growing local football clubs in the region. He, however, called on the local managers of the facility to strictly adhere to the dictates contained in the maintenance manual to ensure the facility is always fit for purpose.
There is going to be a committee set up, and the committee, the chief, the Nairi will have a rep on the committee. You have also the assembly having a rep, the regional minister will have a rep, the community, the youth will also have a rep on the committee. And this committee will ensure that they follow the guidelines on the maintenance manual so that we can use to maintain this facility. We can't put in huge investment like this, then at the end of the day, we don't maintain it well, and we have to look for money to come and renovate it again.
According to the details of the contract, a wall will be constructed to protect the facilities. As it stands, only the football pitch is fenced with wire mesh.
This is the first phase of the project, and going forward, the second phase will look at getting a fence wall so that there can be security.
The contractor, Robert Tete Coleman, also could not tell the exact amount of money spent so far on the project, saying he will be able to provide the financial details after the end of the yet-to-begin second phase. Elias Sutanko from Nalirgu for Joy News.
Now, let's bring you a profile of coaches heading to the African Cup of Nations 2023. And guess what? About 13 of the coaches going to the African Cup of Nations are expatriates, whilst about 11 of them are indigenous coaches handling the various countries ahead of the tournament that starts on Saturday. And you have the likes of Chris Houghton, who is going to be manning the technical bench of the Black Stars. There's also Ouattara for Guinea, and also Walid, who is heading the technical bench of Morocco into the African Cup of Nations 2023. So it's a profile of the coaches who are going into the competition. And guess what? This is a tournament per CAF is going to be the best yet to be organized under the umbrella of the Confederation of African Football, as they seek to ensure that the tournament reaches out to a wider audience. So the best of football is going to be played. And one of the powerful media organizations to acquire the broadcast rights, also Sky Sports. So every single match in the African Cup of Nations for 2023 will be broadcast on Sky Sports. So these are the coaches for the African Cup of Nations 2023, and just a brief profile of them.
Mel, whose contract was not renewed after a disappointing campaign in Cameroon, where the Elephants were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Egypt. The 69-year-old French tactician bears the heavy responsibility of guiding the host nation in this competition, starting with the opening game on January 13 against Guinea-Bissau. According to Ivorian football chief Idriss Diallo, the target is for him to win the tournament or at least reach the semi-finals. Otherwise, his contract will not be renewed for another year. Despite his first experience leading a national team, Jean-Louis Gasset can rely on his extensive coaching background, having managed several French clubs, including Montpellier, Saint-Etienne and Bordeaux. He also served as an assistant coach to Laurent Blanc at Bordeaux, the French national team and Paris Saint-Germain. At home, the Elephant, under his guidance, will strive to lift a third continental trophy following their successes in 1992 in Senegal and 2015 in Equatorial Guinea. In Nigeria, however, Portuguese manager Jose Peseiro has been at the helm of the Nigerian national team since May 2022. Taking over from Austin Eguavoen, the 63-year-old manager faces the challenging task of leading the Super Eagles in the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, where the country aspires to a better performance than the last edition in Cameroon, where they were surprisingly eliminated by Tunisia in the round of 16. Despite a challenging time with the Super Eagles so far, Jose Peseiro will be looking to draw on his rich experience, having previously served as the head coach of Saudi Arabia between 2009 and 2011 and Venezuela 2020 to 2021, and his managerial duties at Club Braga, Porto and Sporting to achieve the goals set by Nigerian football authorities. With him, Nigeria aims for a fourth continental crown after triumphs in 1980, 1994 and 2013. In Equatorial Guinea, Juan Obiang Misha, will lead the Nzalan Nacional at the AFCON for the second consecutive edition after being confirmed as the head coach in March 2021 following a 5-month interim period. In the 2021 edition in Cameroon, he achieved a sensational run with his team, reaching the quarterfinals after eliminating Mali in the round of 16 and defeating Algeria in the group stage. At 48 years old, Juan Obiang Misha is a former Equatorial Guinean footballer who played for his country in the late 1990s and early 2000s. He began his coaching career at Fuenlabrada in Spain before joining the Equatorial Guinea women's national team as an assistant coach from 2012 to 2013. Before becoming the interim head coach of Equatorial Guinea in late 2020 and subsequently confirmed in March 2021, he also coached the country's under-17 and under-20 teams as well as Deportivo Unidad, a club based in Malabo. He aims to surpass the 2015 performance at home, the year of Nzalan Nacional's best ever finish in the competition, placing 4th. And finally, for the Guinea-Bissau national team, 57-year-old Bassirou Kande has been in charge since 2016. This year in Côte d'Ivoire, he will lead his country in its 4th CAF Africa Cup of Nations tournament. A former defender, he played for Estrela de Amadora and Amara in Portugal before embarking on a coaching career. This marks his second stint at the helm after an initial tenure between 2001 and 2009 at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Guiding his team beyond the first round will be his ultimate target, after the team failed to do so in the 2016, 2019 and 2021 editions.
And we bring you something on athletics and Ghana Athletics. They have launched their inter-school competition, which will be happening later this year. And the inter-school competition is expected to be used to test many of the facilities that are going to be hosting the Africa Games. We understand that the laying of the tracks for the African Games will start on January 12th, and they are expected to do that within 6 weeks. The launch was done. My colleague Elon Benai, the Fiamapo, was there and comes through with this report.
The launch of the National Inter-Schools Athletics Championship took place on Tuesday afternoon, January 9, at the Sports Ministry Conference Hall in Accra. Some 50 schools and 1,500 athletes will be selected to participate in the NISAC Athletics Festival. The event is to serve as a test run on the new facilities at the University of Ghana ahead of the 2023 African Games.
We want to do the school sports just like how Jamaica does their school sports, just like how Americans are doing their conference, so that it has a worldwide view. We also want to be that program to be the topmost program in Ghana and in Africa. And together with the stakeholders, the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, National Sports Authority, we should be able to get to that feat. And I do not have any doubt in my mind that within the next 4 years, Ghana athletics should be on top of African athletics. And we are going to use this competition as a test competition for the African Games facility in Legon. Before that, the Mundo might have finished the installation of the tracks. We are going to use that one as a test for the tracks. And after that, then we'll now proceed to the African Games campaign.
Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf was also excited about the event.
Last week, I was in Akufo-Addo with His Excellency the President of the Republic to commission the first stadium, which comes with athletics tracks. And Team Ghana for African Games were there to practice. Aside that, the other 9 sports stadium which is built, we have just scheduled the commissioning date for 5 more, and the other 4, we are hoping that we complete them as well this year, so that we have more tracks, not only in Accra, but across the country. like previous speakers mentioned, sports, as we all know, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Aside the competition itself, is going to bring a lot of economic activities at the various centers where these championships are going to be held going forward. And we are also working with the local organizing committee chair, who is here with me, and the National Sports Authority, the Deputy Director General is here with me, and also with my team, my Chief Director, who is also here with me. We are working around the clock with the AU to position Ghana as the Africa city, Accra, especially Accra, as the African city for sports for 2024.
The Athletics Festival is set to kick off from February 5 to February 9, 2024 in Accra.
And the Africa Games is almost upon us. African Cup of Nations also upon us. And also, we have a new show called AFCON today. And when the AFCON starts, we'll also be introducing to you another special show which will be dedicated to talking about the African Cup of Nations. And today, you can join us on Joy Prime and also on Joy News as we bring you AFCON today. We appreciate your time with us this morning. The AM show continues right after this.